All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Road to Retirement podcast. Tony Marlette Jr. at Brookside Tax and Financial, joined as always by Zach Padden, estate planning attorney extraordinaire over at Enselmo and Company. We say over at like you're so far away,
all the way across the office.
all the way across the office. Joining us today, special guest. We always have a special guest. We always have really great guests. It's kind of like I always feel like I'm on. You ever watch the hosts on Saturday Night Live for 50 years? They've said we've got a great show for you today. Fill in the blank band is here. Stick around. We'll be right back. That's kind of how I feel. But we have Joe Provenzano, owner of Pro Insurance Group, here to talk to us today about a timely topic. It's something that relates to a lot of our client base, open enrollment and Medicare. So, Joe, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you having us. Appreciate
Thanks.
you
Thanks
being
for having
on.
me on. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit today about open enrollment, Medicare Advantage, supplement. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I've been doing insurance for over 10 years. I started off doing life insurance, and then I don't know, I'd say probably about 5 years ago, completely switched to only doing Medicare. It's been great. I would be in the field talking to these seniors, customers. Everybody always had Medicare questions, and I had nobody to go to. Couldn't find anybody to help, anybody that did it. So I kind of switched. And looking back, that was like the best thing I ever did. So what I do is basically just help seniors get Medicare, get enrolled in Medicare, find the plan, and then throughout the course of their life, there's changes that happen. So they become, they get on more medications. Their health, changes. So then they need to adjust and get a new plan that fits their need. So I just do Medicare, hospital indemnity plans, supplements, dental plans, cancer plans, pretty much anything that's to do with their health.
So it's not just one plan. I think that's what a lot of people, they think, oh, I get on Medicare and I'm good. It's like, no, you got to be thinking about
That's
all
exactly
these
what
other
I was going to
things.
say is there's a misnomer that Medicare covers everything, and that's just not true.
That is correct. That's I see it every day. People will say like, "Oh, I have a plan. I don't need to do anything." Well, that plan was good maybe 7 years ago when you were completely healthy. Now that your health has changed, there's plans that are better fit you and, it won't cost as much. And you need to adjust. I tell everybody there's no loyalty with Medicare. You can change plans every year. That's why they have open enrollment. You can change. You could find something better, find something that suits you better, so you always have to kind of like keep adapting. You can't just sit still. If you're sitting still on one plan forever, you're probably paying way too much.
Either that or your health has been really stable for the last 20, 30 years, which I don't think too many people can say in retirement.
Correct.
So we're in open enrollment now. So talk a little bit about what you're allowed to do in open enrollment and why should people care about it?
Yeah, so open enrollment is from October 15th through December 7th. It's your open enrollment. This is when you're allowed to change. So somebody in Ohio, for example, you can't call me in April and say, "Hey, I want to switch my plan." I would tell you, "Okay, I'll get your info. I'll reach back out to you in October." So from October 15th through December 7th, this is when you can actually change plans, make adjustments. It's open enrollment. You can change. You can do everything you have to right now. These plans will start January 1st. So it kicks off. These are all 2026 plans. It's open enrollment. So it's like if you don't do it now, you're stuck. You're staying the same plan you have this past year.
I think one of the things we always see in like our field is, well, this is what my friend did. So like estate planning, we see that financial planning, they're looking at other people's plans. Why should seniors not be doing that?
Zach, that is so funny because I talk about this every day. I have customers, they'll come in and they'll say, like, "Oh, my friend so-and-so, she has medical mutual. It's great." Okay, well, is she a diabetic with congestive heart failure? No. Okay, well, that plan might be good for her, might be terrible for you. And that's the thing too, even like husband and wives, like everybody sees different doctors, everybody has different medications. There's no one person that's the same. So with Medicare, there's not just one plan that fits all. All the plans, I tell you, all the plans are really good. It doesn't matter if you go supplement, doesn't matter if you go Medicare Advantage. They're all really good plans. You have to tailor it to what you need, based on your doctors, your medications, and what you need. When they say, "Hey, my friend told me this is a really good plan," I always laugh. I'm like, "Oh, well, you see all the same doctors, same meds?" No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not how it works.
You hinted at like husband and wife having like different doctors, different issues. So just for people out there, husband and wife can have completely different Medicare plans, correct?
Yes. Yep. My parents, my dad's diabetic. He's on one plan. My mom is on a totally different plan. Both plans are really good. Not one's better than the other. It's just different
It
meds,
fits that
different
person better.
Exactly. They all have different situations. So
And open enrollment's more, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more for if you're on an Advantage plan as opposed to a Medigap or a Medicare supplement, right?
you can still switch. I mean, if you're going to switch your supplement, sometimes those payments, like you start off with a low payment, 100, $150,
Mm-hmm.
and after 5-10 years, now you're looking at a $400 payment. That would be something where, if things are tight, you can get off that plan and go to a new one that maybe it's $100 again and start over, kind of like a refinance. So now's the time. If you have anything, now's the time to review it. The people that just sit in one plan and don't change, those are the ones that are tough. Those are the tough ones because they're just set in stone on like, hey, this is what I have, this is how it works, this is what I pay. There's just so many options right now that you really can't go wrong.
I was going to say one of the things that Tony and I always talk about as well is like an estate planning is always changing. You should be looking at your goals. And when we're building a plan for you, we're looking at what's your financial goals, what's your estate planning goals, who do you want to leave your money to?
Mm-hmm.
What are the questions that you're asking always to kind of get a good feel for what's best for your client?
Yeah, so basically I just kind of let them do all the talking. They kind of sell themselves on what they need. If someone will say like, hey, I need dental implants or I need a lot of dental work, there's certain plans that have like really good, strong dental benefits. So if they have really good dental benefits, they're going to lack in everything else. But if that's what you need to go into a plan like that, get all the dental work done. 2026 open enrollment. Once you're done with all the dental work and you have it all complete, we can then switch to something else that you may need. So you kind of got to play the game. You got to kind of go back and forth. There's, things change, like you said, with the estate planning, you got to just kind of go with what the cards are dealt. If you become a diabetic where you weren't 3 years ago,
Right.
now all of a sudden you need to make sure you're looking at all your meds are covered. You got to make sure your doctors are in the network. You got to make sure you're covered and ready for that because that could be very expensive if you're not set up correctly. And
there's plans, special needs plans for things like that, right?
Yeah. So this past year, for 2026, there's a huge push on like what they call chronic needs. So any type of like diabetic, there's certain diabetic plans that'll give money for groceries. They give money, discounts on like their prescription drugs, specialty doctors. So there's certain plans like that if you do fit those needs, you got to take advantage of that because that could really, help the customer.
So with your agency, how many people do you have working with you?
I would say about 30 agents.
Okay.
And we do variety. I have one girl who's at Walmart who hangs out there in the front, helps with questions.
You told me about that. Let's talk about her a little bit. That's so interesting. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's just interesting. Like that works, right?
Yeah, it works. So, I mean, she will do, within that 45-day period, she will do 250 to 350 enrollments.
Wow.
Just going to Walmart 5 days a week for a couple hours, in the morning. So, I mean, there's really no right way. There's no wrong way. There's people that are successful on the team that sit in Walmart. There's other people that only do things over the phone. There's another guy I have who only goes in the field. He only goes to people's houses. So it's really there's really not like one size fits all. You kind of got to adapt to what your goal is and how you're trying to, reach out to customers. I do a little bit of everything. I go to people's houses. I have people come to the office. I do things over the phone. Whatever needs to be done, I make sure I, help the customers. So.
Yeah, that's old school, going to houses. I remember when I got my insurance license back in 05, I was doing life sales and a lot of Medicare supplements or Advantage plans. And the biggest thing, that's what we would do. 90 to 95% of the appointments I ran were going to people's houses. I got to imagine that's a little more difficult now.
Yeah, it is difficult. Once COVID happened, like before, I would drive, no lie. I live in Parma, Ohio. I would drive to Steubenville, Ohio, all the way to Toledo, all the way down past like Mansfield. I would go just drive 2 hours for one appointment. But once COVID happened, like you really didn't want to go in somebody's houses. A lot of these seniors, some of them are assisted living, so you kind of had to adapt and you do things over the phone. Now you can be 100% compliant doing a sale or enrollment or helping a customer right over the phone. It really depends. There's certain customers that I still see that say, "Hey, I want you to come out," which is fine. I just like to see them hang out, maybe get some update their file, any new meds, any new doctors. Even though I know like they're already on the best plan, I still will go just to see, maybe just to make sure I keep my customers, keeping them happy. But there's others that, if you would say like, "Hey, you want me to come to your office, or do you want to come to the office?" "No, I don't want to do that." "Do you want me to meet you at Starbucks?" "No, I don't want to do that." "You want me to come to your house?" "No." "Okay, well, guess what? We're going to do it right here over the phone right now." Perfect. So you kind of, every customer is different,
Yeah, I think we see that too, how some customers want to come in all the time. Some are just like, I just want to be there one time and be done and let you roll with it. And you've got to know your client base, I think. And that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing, like kind of what you said.
Yeah, so since over the past 5 years, it's funny. I have my memory. Once I talk to somebody or meet them, I remember everything. I remember what their house looks like. I remember what we talked about. And there's certain people, they'll just call up and say, "Hey, Joe, I trust you 100%. Am I in a good plan? Keep me. If you need to change me, let me know what I need to do. Just take care of it." And they don't want to know anything about it. They go with the flow. So it's you kind of got to earn that trust. But people, if you just give them good service, you make sure they're taking care of them. It kind of gets easier with some people down the road.
Yeah, that's so important. And we were talking before the call about, we've sent you some referrals for clients who are on Medicare. And I've heard nothing but positive things about everybody who's worked with you and how easy you make it and how adaptable it is. So I think that's really important. And like you said, once you've built that trust with somebody, there's so much, rapport is power. You get that person to call you back. And I've had people, so does Zach, they come to us and they say, "Look, if you guys need to make any changes on anything, please just do it. I'll sign whatever." And it's not them being naive. It's them fully trusting us. It's so important.
Yeah, that is doing what we do. That's like the most important thing. I always tell my team and my agents, if you give good service, the sales will follow. Always give them good service. Like I was telling you, Tony, there's people now for this year who, like the prescription drug plans, a lot of those are non-commissionable for 2026. I still meet with those people. I still go over everything. I'm like, "Oh, hey, you're in a good plan. Here's your drugs. Look how much you're saving. Here's the new plan." And I go ahead and we get them enrolled, and that I didn't make not one penny off it, which is fine. It is what it is. But down the road, eventually they're going to need another plan. They might need a dental plan. They might need a cancer policy. There's going to be something down the road that could help them out. So always give good service. I take care of it. I answer my phone. I tell all my agents and everybody, I don't care if it's a spam call. I don't care if it's a number I have no idea who it is. I always just answer it, because you never know who's calling. So there's other agents I know that they'll sit there and their phone's ringing and they don't answer it. They're like, "Oh, I don't know who it is. I don't recognize the number." Well, that could be a customer. Like, why are you in this business? Why are you doing this? If some phone rings, you got to take it and help them out. So that's what separates me from everybody, is I always try to give excellent service. I follow up. I use a CRM too. I don't know if you guys use that at all.
Yeah, we use a version of Salesforce.
Yeah, so I put everybody's info in there. They get a birthday text, hey, if there's any updates, call me. And I spread that out throughout the year. And it makes me look like I'm trying to reach out all the time, but it's all set up and it's all automated, so.
Yeah, and part of that's just keeping that contact with your clients. I mean, you want to make sure that they know you're thinking of them. If you see
Top of
something that
mind.
can affect them, it's a good time to reach out. They shouldn't be having to reach out to you. So I think people always appreciate that because it makes them feel, I want to say special, but it makes them feel special.
Yeah, I tell them too, even if you lose your card, your insurance card, call me. I can get you a new one. Like I can click it and send you a new one faster. I can print it off. I could mail it to you. I can bring it to your house. I could do that faster than you're going to call any of these carriers and wait on hold 40 minutes to get somebody that's not going to really understand what you're doing. So, but then that's a good chance for me to see if there's any other needs, So I like helping them out, even if it's for something like that.
And where is your office out of?
So I'm in Seven Hills, 151 Orchard View. 7 Hills, Ohio. I'm right next to Myers. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. When I look out my window, I see Myers parking lot. So very, very convenient. It's a good area right off 77 in Pleasant Valley and Broadview.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. So open enrollment goes through December 7th. This is obviously your busy time of the year. It's kind of like our tax season. So you're busy from now until December 7th. You're still busy after that, but this is your bread and butter. You find yourself switching over most people's plans, maybe not necessarily on a year-to-year basis, but I know these plans change a lot, and you have to keep your ear to the ground.
Yeah. So that's cool that you say that. So for 2025, last AEP, I had probably about 300 customers I put with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. That plan was incredible. We'll probably never see a plan like that again, but customers got $50 a month for groceries. They got silver sneakers. They got $107 for over the counter. So they could use that for Tylenol, Advil, Band-Aids, whatever they need. It had dental, it had vision. All their prescriptions were basically covered. That plan was phenomenal. I had over 300 people on that plan. And for 2026, they eliminated all those benefits. So now I got to get in front of all those people and switch them. And, some of them I'm staying pat, but, if they, once those seniors, once they get those benefits, they kind of rely on it, especially like silver sneakers. Like, hey, I'm used to going to the rec, 4 times a week. We live in Parma. We don't have a rec center. So if you can get a free membership to Seven Hills Rec or Middleburg, that's huge. So a lot of plan switches, but it's good to see these customers because, if you put them in a good plan now, you might not have to meet with them for another year or two. So it's all kind of staggered out. And then also keep in mind though, January 1st through March 31st, that's open enrollment. So customers are allowed to change one time. So if you put them with Aetna, and they're trying it out and they may call and say, hey Joe, I really don't like Aetna, I want to go back to my Humana plan. They could switch one time and then they'd be on that plan for the rest of the year.
So that's like a do-over period.
Yeah, buyer's remorse. You go in one plan, you don't like it, you want to go back.
Right. That's how competitive these plans have become, I guess. They're giving away all those. They have an incentive, I think, for things like silver sneakers and Tylenol to keep people healthy. But for groceries and stuff, you think that's just something that these plans have gotten so competitive that they're willing to throw these things out to people?
They do. There's a devoted plan that you can get $400 a month for groceries.
Man,
the plan doesn't cost anything. It's zero.
Yeah.
But I tell everybody, these plans, if you're just picking a plan based on what you're going to get money for groceries, because guess what? All the plans are the same. If they're giving you $400 a month in groceries, guess what they're doing? You're paying for it every time you get a prescription. Every time you go see a doctor, you're paying double, triple, So don't go by just the food benefit. That's like the worst thing you could do, because if you end up in the hospital, and you get a $3,000 or $4,000 bill, you're really going to be happy you still got, $200 in groceries when you got $5,000 bill. It's like, no.
Yeah, so true.
Some of those plans too. So like there's give backs. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. Like they give like a Part B give back.
No, what is that?
So Part B for everybody for 2025 is $185. That's the same. That's for anybody in Ohio, Florida, Chicago, California. Part B is the same price for everybody. 2026, it's going up to $206.50. Some of these plans, like if you sign up with Humana, they may say, hey, you know what? We're going to give you $150 back in your Part B and your Social Security for picking this plan. That's the perk of the plan, is you're getting $150 a month back. Okay. So like for 2025, you'd only be paying $35 a month for your Medicare. But on the other hand, though, look at those benefits. You go to the hospital, you go to the emergency room, you go call an ambulance, you go to the emergency room, then you're in the hospital. I mean, you're going to get a $5,000 bill.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, so people really just need to look past the flash they're showing up front to you and look at really what the plan's coverage is for you.
Correct. Yep. Most definitely. They, if we know when something's going to happen,
right,
when you're going to go in the hospital, we'll just call you the day before. We don't know when that day is coming, so you kind of got to be prepared. Last thing you want to do is get sucked into a plan like that that's going to say, hey, look at this, you're getting all this money, but you're getting crushed somewhere else if something does happen. So, and a lot of agents sell that too, which I tell my team, like, don't do that. Don't sell based on free money back. Eventually that's going to catch up to them, and it's going to burn they're going to get a huge bill.
Right. It sounds like those benefits are better for somebody maybe who you have to enroll, you have to have some, you have to have some sort of supplemental coverage. It sounds like if you're fairly healthy and not that anybody plans necessarily on going to the hospital, but if you're fairly healthy, maybe those benefits carry a little bit more. Whereas if you have some health issues, you probably want to avoid the $300 a month grocery benefit plan, because you're going to get a lot more use out of the real benefits.
Yeah, those plans are for people like they may end up going back to work. They may work at Walmart or wherever and get benefits through work. They already have Medicare. Maybe they stay on Medicare and just get the give back because they know they have additional coverage. Somebody that goes to the VA for everything, that's a good plan for them. It has a niche for certain customers, but it's not everybody, and it's something you shouldn't just focus on.
Good to know. Zach, anything else for Joe?
Joe, so when's the latest you would want somebody to call if they watch this episode and towards the end of November? Is that too late for them to try to get in touch with you? Sooner
the better, because sometimes it takes some time. If you have certain doctors, some, like I had a lady, she has 8 doctors. To find a plan where all 8 of those are in the network, that may take some time. So you don't want to wait till the last minute, because we're going to have to call them and say, hey, do you take this plan? Okay, you do. Okay, call the next doctor. Do you take? No. Okay. Well, now we have to make a decision. Either you switch doctors, or we try to keep finding one plan, but there might not be one plan where all 8 of your doctors are in the network. So it takes some time. I would say sooner the better. Don't wait till the last minute. Last year too, Anthem, Medical Mutual, some of these plans, they got so many customers on them, they filled up, and then they pulled the plan middle of AEP. So like these carriers all have goals too. So once they hit their threshold of how many customers they want, they'll pull the plan, and that's it. If you waited too long, that's it. It's not available. So sooner is better. Don't wait till the last minute.
Right. And I think it's better. It's worth noting too. Go to somebody like Joe who does this. This is their sole focus. I can tell you from past experiences that I've had a couple of rounds doing Medicare supplements myself, it's a lot to focus on. And if you lose that focus, you're not doing your clients any favors. So part of the reason we refer out to Joe right now for Medicare is just that. It's better to go to somebody who does this and only this as their sole focus full time. You can keep all those plans that you mentioned. You can make all those calls. You have different people to do those things. So I think that's so important for people because it's you have to be detailed on this.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So the nice thing too is like if you come see me, there is no cost. So some people say like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know what this is going to cost. How much you charge per hour? There's no cost. I get paid by the carrier. So what the nice thing about Medicare is all the agents, me, my team, anybody else, all Medicare agents, they all get paid the same. It doesn't matter who you work for, what plan you sell, everybody gets paid the same per carrier. So that's the nice thing. There's no swaying of, hey, just dumping out one plan. But also though, it's good to kind of go to the same person because then they already have your file. So when you come see me, I'm going to say, okay, do you still see this doctor? Do you still see this doctor? Do you still take this medication? Once the file is already built, just like you're doing your taxes, you can look back in the previous years and then you can kind of build off it and adjust and kind of see, what'll make sense.
Yeah, good point. Good info there. Anything else, Zach, for Joe today?
Joe, how would somebody get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach out to your firm?
So phone number 216-533-9630. Again, 216-533-9630 is my cell. You can email me at joe@progroupinsurance.com. Again, joe@progroupinsurance.com.
You can always contact us too. We can pass your contact info along to Joe. So Joe Provenzano, Pro Insurance Group. Thanks for all the great info. Very topical today. Really helpful to have you on and to give everybody a rundown of everything going on.
You guys are doing a great job. They the couple customers I talked to talked about how you guys took them to the farm there.
Oh yeah,
they loved it, man.
Yep. That's we had the Red Wagon event Halloween a couple nights ago. It went really well.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Tony put on a good Happy Gilmore Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
It was good.
He's good at that.
All right, guys. For Zach Padden, Joe Provenzano, Tony Marlette Jr. at Brookside Financial on the Road to Retirement podcast. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
See you guys. Bye.